You've got to tune to listener-powered KEXP Seattle, the afternoon show. I'm Kevin Cole. You just heard, starting off that set, a brand new track from Pearl Jam, their first new song in like 5 years called Can't Deny Me. And they dedicated the live performance debut of that song to the survivors of the Parkland, Florida shooting and the students that took part in that day's walkout. They performed it on March 14th. And right after that, Pearl Jam with Again Today. That is from Cover Stories. Brandi Carlile celebrates 10 years of the story here on the afternoon show. And joining me right now, it is Brandi Carlile, along with the twins, Phil and Tim Hansroth. Welcome to KEXP.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it is so great having you here. I'm thrilled. I'm really excited. The new album is so awesome.
Thanks, man.
How about a couple songs, and then we'll talk a bit about it.
Yeah, you got it.
Cool. Thank you.
Start with Most of All, guys.
I haven't seen my father in some time, but his face is always staring back at me. His heavy hands hang at the ends of my arms, and my colors change like the sea. But I don't worry much about time lost, 'cause I'm not gunning for the dreams I couldn't find. He taught me how to walk the best that I can on the road I left behind. And most of all, he taught me to forgive, how to keep a cool head, how to love the one you're with. And when I'm far into the distance and the pushing comes to shove, to remember what comes back when you give away your love. Give away your love. When you give your love away, give away your love. I haven't heard my mother's voice in a while, but her words are always falling out my mouth. My mind and spirit are at odds sometimes, and they fight like the north and the south. But I still care enough to bear the weight of the heaviness to which my heart is tethered. She taught me how to be strong and say goodbye, and that love is forever. And most of all, she taught me how to fight, how to move across the line between the wrong and the right. And when I'm turned out in the darkness and the pushing comes to shove, to remember what comes back when you give away your love. Give away your love. When you give your love away, give away your love. You give your love away, oh, give your love away, and remember what comes back to you. Give your love away, oh, give your love away, and remember what comes back to you. I haven't seen my father in some time, but his face is always staring back at me. His heavy hands swing from the ends of my arms, and my colors change like the sea. aren't you, boy? With your quiet voice and impeccable style. Don't ever let them steal your joy and your gentle ways to keep them from running wild. They can kick dirt in your face, dress you down and tell you that your place is in the middle when they hate the way you shine. I see you tugging on your shirt, trying to hide inside of it and hide how much it hurts. You let them laugh a while they can, let them spin, let them scatter in the wind. I have been to the movies, I've seen how it ends, and the joke's on them. You get discouraged, don't you, girl? It's your brother's world for a while longer. You gotta dance with the devil on a river to beat the stream, and call it living the dream, call it kicking the ladder. They come to kick dirt in your face, to call you weak and then displace you after carrying your baby on your back across the desert. I saw your eyes behind your hair, and you're looking tired, but you don't look scared. You let them laugh a while they can, let them spin, let them scatter in the wind. I have been to the movies, I've seen how it ends. The joke's on you let them live a while they can, let them spin, let them scatter in the wind. I have been to the movies, I've seen how it ends. The joke's on. Oh, the joke's on them. Yeah, you know it.
Brandi Carlile live on the afternoon show with the twins. We've got Tim on guitar and vocals and Phil on bass, and Tim on that song, hopping on piano.
Yeah.
The joke, and most of all, both from the new album, By the Way, I Forgive You. And first of all, welcome to KEXP. Welcome to the new home.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. This is absolutely amazing. It's surreal.
It is, and thank you so much for helping build it.
Yeah, man, of course.
Yeah, you did the Pin Drop tour at the Moore Theater back in February 2015. That was just stunning. That was a show with no microphones. Sold out room, and everybody, even up to the top, back row, like could hear every nuance. Just an amazing show and a great fundraiser for KEXP. So
Thanks,
you.
man. We don't even know Seattle or this country without KEXP.
Well,
it's the back of my hand. I almost drove to the old building on my way here tonight just because it's like such a part of our of our lives.
Well, thank you. Thank you for making it so and helping build it as well. So the new album, man, wow, what a hell of an album.
Thank you very much.
You just totally nailed it. I mean, the songs, the subject matter, the singing, the lyrics, the playing, the production, even the album cover's intense. The whole thing is really
so
intense.
You're right.
I love the album cover.
Yeah, it scares my daughter.
It does.
Yeah.
Did Scott Avett do that?
Yeah, Scott Avett painted that.
Yeah.
I love his paintings. I've always been a fan of Scott Avett's of his artwork in general, and I asked him to paint me for the cover of the record, but like I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to have it be painted from a picture or anything. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll paint you if you come and fly to North Carolina and sit for me all day." So I did.
Sweet.
And I didn't see it until it was the cover of the album.
Are you comfortable doing that, like letting go of control and giving things up?
No.
Yeah.
Horribly, like life-changingly uncomfortable with it. And that was like sort of the theme of this album. And I figured, hell, if we're going to do this with the music, we might as well continue that right on through the artwork. And Pete Souza, the White House photographer for Obama, he took all the photographs. He came and stayed at my house for like 8 days.
Wow.
And just every time I woke up in the morning all grumpy, he was just standing there.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's cool.
Yeah.
He's got a great Instagram feed.
It's the best, right?
It is so good post Obama years. Pretty inspiring and somewhat distressing stuff too when you put it in the context.
Yeah.
So this new album really unpacks a lot of sort of, is it safe to say, kind of difficult topics?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like, family dynamics, politics, addiction, forgiveness, things that I'm sure the three of you have faced and things that we collectively as a society deal with. What
Daily.
Yeah, what caused these themes to come up for this record and now?
I think that what makes them appear so focused is that sort of for the first time, we carved the pieces of the stone away from the sculpture that didn't fit. So, we usually have a little bit of a collection of these kind of like straight to the heart of the matter kinds of songs. But then we put other songs around them that are easier to sing and easier for us to cope with.
Like more poppy songs, maybe? Would you
Songs with a more, generic choruses or that are more about fun or dancing or summertime or animals or nature. That's kind of a classic Brandi Carlile and the Twins theme. And this time we just really poignantly let those songs fall away. And the ones that were left were the ones that were the most difficult to sing. And we knew that was the record.
Difficult to sing emotionally?
Emotionally, absolutely, yeah.
And is singing them now and having recorded them, is that cathartic or is it painful when you're in that moment?
I thought it was cathartic recording them, but playing them live is actually what the cathartic part is because it's really difficult to get through. I'm noticing that I have to play these songs a dozen times maybe live to get through the lump in my throat, ugly voice, keeping my face from going,
That emotional place.
Yeah, that emotional place that just nobody really comes to see that show, so you gotta hold it together a little bit.
They do. I mean, they come to feel it for sure too.
Yeah.
But I would imagine as an artist, that's got to be hard. I know on air sometimes when we do like Music Heals Cancer Day, and I'm reading an incredibly emotional email from a listener. If I go there, once you've gone there, like you're gonna break down all the time.
Yeah, and that's right where I'm at. So I've just got through that on like Sugar Tooth, The Joke, and The Mother, but the rest of them bring me right back there still. So I've got work to do.
Sugar Tooth, a song about addiction.
Yeah.
And is it about the opium epidemic or just kind of more broad?
Absolutely. It's about a specific person that didn't make it, through what we're dealing with and what we're seeing in this country every day with opiates and overprescribing and problems that people are having with drugs.
Yeah, serious problems.
Big problems, yeah.
So you used the metaphor in an article I read about this sort of lump in the throat being, I think you were talking about it a little differently, but in terms of being sort of the barometer of whether a song is good or not for this record.
Yeah.
Describe that and what you meant.
Well, I get it. I get the lump in my throat when I'm singing emotional songs that I haven't totally come to terms with yet. I get it when real rock and roll is happening, which is a feeling when I'm on stage and I know the song, but I don't have any command over it yet, and it could only derail at any second. I get that lump in my throat. And then I get the lump in my throat when I hear really, really great music. Doesn't matter what genre it is. It's my barometer for, like, great music. I mean, when I watch Kendrick Lamar, it's there, right there the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that concept. If you know it's difficult, just going into that space, right?
Yeah.
Was that different for you, Tim and Phil, in terms of writing on this record?
Well, for me, I kind of set out to do what I always do, which is just always play, just kind of let whatever's in there come out. But I think the difference for me personally was just seeing the world through the lens of a father and having, like, the ability to see everyone as someone's kid.
Yeah.
Someone's dad. And that changed a lot for me.
We're basically bawling like babies all the time now.
I know.
We
used to be a lot more fun.
So much more fun.
Well, it's incredibly cathartic. The shows, I'm sure, are awesome, and the album is just wonderful. So in talking about the album, you've referenced forgiveness as an act that is inherently radical.
Yeah, it's radical.
Love that idea. And in exploring this theme through your music, sort of what got you to that point to pin it down as something extreme?
I just noticed that the word's gotten diluted. It's gotten a little bit diluted by kind of a perfectionistic society. It's become a kind of a evangelical buzzword, #blessed kind of word, when it's really filthy, radical, difficult, impossible thing to do that might be the very reason why we're even here on earth, is to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And it's not a word to be taken lightly, and I think that it's so much easier said than done, and I just want to talk about it and sing about it for a little while.
That's cool. Now, in the 12-step program for addiction recovery, there's this concept of ask forgiveness, where going through that process, you reach out to people that you feel like you've harmed. But this is like this is like the flip of that. This is proactively forgiving people,
whether they're sorry or not,
whether they even
know.
Exactly. And that is super cool, and that's got to be an incredible weight. And in some ways, a gift for that person as well, whether they want to deal with it or not. Yeah,
and it's forgiveness of circumstance too, not just people, but.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Well, the parts of life that you think you're ready for, or that you think you're set up to cope with, that maybe you aren't.
Yeah.
Like things that you can't forgive your parents for, like dying, like leaving you.
Yeah.
Or
been
things
there.
that you can't forgive, like how much more difficult it is to be a parent and assimilate into that life than you thought that it would be. And then in those situations, you have no antagonist, you have no subject that you can blame, but you have to be able to find radical forgiveness despite that.
Totally love that
concept. Not saying
concept.
I can do it, just saying I can sing about it.
Well, I mean, the letter that you wrote in advance of the record is a great example, though, of this kind of forgiveness and some of the real positive that can come out of that, I think. So for listeners that don't know, leading up to the album's release, you published an open letter to a minister that had refused to baptize you in front of family and friends because you, as a teenager, you were openly gay. And you wrote this incredibly moving letter. Part of it says, I still love you. I understand that we're on a journey together trying to do our best. But what I want you to know most of all is that you did not damage my faith, not in God, not in humanity, not in myself, and the experience inspired me to help other gay kids and my spiritual LGBTQ brothers and sisters come to terms with the disappointments they've endured on the rugged road to peace and acceptance.
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
Thanks, man.
And it's amazing. I mean, that's lump in the throat material for
I appreciate it.
For me. And also, I think a really good example of just how this kind of, something that hangs with you like that, right?
Yeah, I didn't realize how much that experience hurt me until I was wrestling with the concept of radical forgiveness. Forgiveness that's not accusatory, but I genuinely do forgive and love that man.
Yeah, there's a sense of empathy there, but also, you wouldn't be able to have the perspective on this at the time, but the gift that came out of it.
Yeah.
right? That it's inspired you. So
Yeah,
that's cool.
it has inspired me. I appreciate you bringing it up.
So it's Brandi Carlile, the Twins, here live on KEXP, the afternoon show. If you're listening, you can be watching this. We're doing live Facebook streaming of it. How about a couple more songs?
Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. I just had my second daughter, Elijah. My first daughter is called Evangeline Ruth Carlile. She's listening out there today. She took me by surprise, and I didn't feel that enough people were honest with me about how difficult it was to be a parent, and I believed that I was going to be overwhelmed with instinct, and what I was overwhelmed with was sheer terror. So I wanted to write a song about it. It's called The Mother.
Welcome to the end of being alone inside your mind. You're tethered to another, and you worried all the time. You always knew the melody, but you never heard it rhyme. She's fair and she is quiet, Lord. She doesn't look like me. She made me love the morning. She's a holiday at sea. The New York streets are as busy as they always used to be. But I am the mother of Evangeline. The first things that she took from me were selfishness and sleep. She broke 1,000 heirlooms I was never meant to keep. She filled my life with color, canceled plans and trashed my car. None of that was ever who we are. Outside of my windows are the mountains and the snow. I hold you while you're sleeping, and I wish that I could go. All my rowdy friends are out accomplishing their dreams, but I am the mother of Evangeline. They still got their morning paper and their coffee and their time, and they still enjoy their evenings with the skeptics and the wine. Oh, but all the wonders I have seen, I will see a second time. From inside of the ages through your eyes. And you are not some accident where no one thought it through. The world that stood against us made us mean to fight for you. And when we chose your name, we knew that you'd fight the power too. You're nothing short of magical and beautiful to me. I'll never hit the big time without you. So they can keep their treasure and their ties to the machine. I am the mother of Evangeline. They can keep their treasure and their ties to the machine. I am the mother of Evangeline.
It's Brandi Carlile live on the afternoon show, KEXP, playing at the Moore this Friday and Saturday. And before that, up in Vancouver at the Commodore Ballroom. Yeah. Then first week of April at the Beacon Theater in New York. A whole week residency there? Is that right?
It's 3 nights.
3 nights, that's cool.
It's 3 very, very big nights in my life. I'm pretty excited about it, but I'm excited about the Moore too, man.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic.
Representing the hometown.
Yep.
All right, Timmy's at at the piano again.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't said this yet in your life, you probably need to somebody. Hey, if I don't owe you a favor, you don't know me. I don't believe we've ever even met. If there's a God in heaven, you can show me. And I guess I should admit I lost the bet. There are moments I could hold you forever. There are moments that lasted way too long. There are days when I change with the weather. To hold you in place would be wrong. There's a road left behind me that I'd rather not speak of, and a hard one ahead of me too. I love you, whatever you do, but I got a life to live too. I never met a morning I could get through with nothing on my breath to hold the night. And I never said I'm sorry, but I meant to. I never met a coward I don't like. There are reasons why a body stays in motion. At the moment only demons come to mind. There are days when I could walk into the ocean with no one else but you to leave behind. There's a road left behind me that I'd rather not speak of, and a hard one ahead of me too. I love you, whatever you do. To live to. There's a road left behind me that I'd rather not speak of, and a hard one ahead of me too. Oh, I love you, whatever you do, but I got a life to live too.
Brandi Carlile live on the afternoon show. It's KEXP, where the music matters. 2 songs from the new album, by the way, I Forgive You, Whatever You Do, and the track, The Mother. Brandi, you've always been an activist, and it's been a pretty surreal, jolting couple of years.
Hasn't it? It hasn't it?
And it just keeps getting weirder and weirder. To what extent has that been fuel, and to what extent has the current political climate motivated you? To what extent is it just hard?
It is just hard, man. But and it's fuel too. It's both things. I think those are two intuitive words.
Yeah.
As far as insight and the way it feels for me. But the thing I love about being a part of this country right now is I think that the current political climate has galvanized a nation of activists, unlike a nation of activists that we've seen since Vietnam and the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud to be here right now, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Yeah, it feels that way, and you, especially given the last couple of weeks, and you participated in Saturday's March for Our Lives.
I did.
And your cover of Dylan's "The Times They Are Changing," man, was so powerful. And the line, "Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command," like, man, that never felt so real.
Yeah.
And the way you belted it out at that performance at Seattle Center was spine-tingling. I mean, it was really amazing. What was the experience like for you?
It was like an out-of-body experience. It was totally surreal. I don't know if you remember, where you were at mentally or emotionally at 16 years old, but I was nowhere near as focused and articulate and powerful as these kids are. I'm so proud to support this generation. I think this is a really fantastic one. I'm glad that these kids are going to be my kids' teachers, and I'm glad they're going to be looking after me when I get old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what they're doing, and it is inspiring. And
it's not just what they're saying; it's how they're saying it.
Oh, totally.
They're carrying themselves with true grace and pride.
Yep. Would you mind doing the Dylan song?
Oh man, I'd love to.
Cool.
Shall we do that? You guys ready for it?
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. Does that sound in tune enough? It's more in tune than Dylan's guitar.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, right.
It's in protest too.
It's in protest. It's in protest too. I want to send this one out to the kids that marched in Seattle, and then we're at the Seattle Center. Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, well, then you'd better start swimming, or you'll sink like a stone, for the times, they are changing. And all you writers and critics who prophesize with your pens, yeah, well, keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. And there's no telling who that it's naming, for the loser right now might be later to win. And the times, they are changing. All you senators and congressmen, please heed the call. Don't you stand in your doorway, don't lock up your halls, for he who gets hurt will be he who has stalled. And that battle outside that's raging will soon be rattling your windows and shaking your walls, for the times, they are changing. Oh, you mothers and fathers from across the land, well, don't criticize what you can't understand, 'cause your sons and your daughters are beyond your command.
So good. That is awesome. Thank
Thanks,
you.
man. Thanks for letting us do that. That was fun.
Yeah. Brandi Carlile and the twins, Phil and Tim Hanzarath. Thank you so much for being here. Man,
Thank you,
sound
man.
incredible. The vocals, just so good.
Man, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the new album is absolutely fantastic. By the way, I forgive you. I like how that's almost a weird afterthought.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. The tour is coming up, North American tour, a couple dates here this weekend at the Moore Theater, Thursday night at the Commodore up in Vancouver, the New York shows at the Beacon Theater. Then I guess you're going to be super crazy busy for the summer.
For the summer, yeah.
Yep.
And then we'll come back to Seattle probably in the fall and do something triumphant here.
Awesome.
Maybe.
Thank you so much.
You know we will.
Thanks for playing live this afternoon, taking the time out to come by. Thank you for helping build the new KEXP, which is awesome.
Oh, man, it's our pleasure.
And thanks for writing these songs and making this new album. It's fantastic.
Thank you, brother. It's been awesome talking to you today.
Yeah, thank you. And speaking of thanks to Jim, Scott, Justin, and Alia on video. We'll have, the produced video up soon. Matthew taking photographs, Kevin Suggs engineering, Matt Ogaz on the board, Melissa and Elaine on hospitality. And huge thanks to all the donors that make making studios like this one with Brandi Carlile today possible. It is KEXP Seattle.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.